The other day, I woke up to this email for the Puma H Street ballet sneakers. The ad, the campaign, very nice. And I love the styling and like the look of the whole campaign. I saw something that caught my eye that wasn't the sneakers. These pants, these capris, these like layered pants were so freaking cute. So I did some digging, but not too much since they pretty much credit everybody who worked on the campaign. One thing led to another. I found the designer of the pants, and I've been wanting pants this style for at least a year at this point, I would say. Lisa Says God released the Renee pants. I want to say going into summer of last year for their like Hawaii campaign. They were this like butter yellow linen, and those were super freaking cute. They were just expensive. I wasn't confident in their fit and make. I've never bought a piece from them. I've always wanted to, and that was very close to being the first piece, but I just never committed. Other than that, I haven't really seen too many of these pants, at least made domestically. This designer is from Copenhagen. The name is Bella Faith, and they make made to order pieces. They're all really nice, including these pants. And so I really do want to emphasize that I don't condone stealing from artists. I'm the elephant in the room. And she doesn't make clothes that fit me. I am a size 16 in the US, so her clothes just aren't made to fit me, and that's absolutely perfectly fine. I think that it's time for me to leverage my skills and try to make them myself. I did make like a really boo boo sketch. I've never learned how to draw clothing, so don't judge me, judge your mom. I did buy some elastic from Michaels, and I got a thick one because I really want a thick band. I think it's gonna be my first time working with elastic too. Like, I'm just going all in. I noticed that how the pants are made, not only from Bella Face, but from Lisa Says God, the tutu layer or the skirt layer is what I'm gonna call it. It doesn't fully cover like the bottom of the butt, so it's not that long. I like that because if I want to sit, like, I don't want to sit on two different like layers of clothes. I think I want to do raw edges because I it will save me some time in the long run.
Nah, I don't really feel like it.
I'm thinking of like a wide boot cut. Bella Faith's are capri, which cool. I don't know if I'm gonna go that short yet. So I'm kind of just winging it and going with the flow. My sewing skills are not that extensive by any means. What I'm gonna do is take a pair of pants that are made of the same fabric, so like sweatpants that I have. I'm gonna copy the pants and see which one works because I don't know which one I want to use yet. And then I think I'm just gonna make the skirt from whatever is left. I would end up copying two pairs of pants. So the one on top is baggier and the one on the bottom is more of a flare. So I wanted to combine the two, and I think it worked out pretty well. So I cut it out of the video, but I did end up tracing these pants like multiple times throughout the fabric. And then when I was cutting, I realized, wait, why don't you just cut the one that you're gonna cut? And then I remembered to make sure before I cut them that the sides are matching so that you have a proper left and right, which I almost didn't do. One of the reasons why I love creating is because I can kind of use half a brain cell and get away with it. And that's kind of what I did throughout this whole process. So I did mess up a couple times, but there were a couple times where I was like, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to do that. So I just ended up tracing a front and a back. And then I cut one and then I traced around it to cut the other one, basically. This isn't a tutorial. I just feel the need to recollect what I did because this was my first time making pants and actually like recording it. because I genuinely want to make these again, just not in this fabric, and I'll explain why later. So now I'm sewing the fronts and backs together, but I made a mistake to where I sewed the center seams of the pant legs together, so it ended up being like a skirt. So I had to seam rip it, and as I was going, I was like, "This don't look right." But eventually, I seam ripped it and redid it, and now I have a pair of pants. I just made a pair of pants. I'm not done, but like, I did that. So now that the waistline is too high, which I knew this would happen, I'm trying to see how much I can take off. And then I'm playing with the leftover fabric to see what I can do and use to make the skirt. But then it just kind of clicked like, girl, you need to make a circle skirt. So I YouTube University'd how to do that, and it's a bunch of math and measuring, but it's not difficult at all. If anything, I kind of overshot and it ended up being wider. So I actually had to trim the skirt, whatever. And it also ended up being longer than I wanted, which I guess is fine. I just know for next time to cut more. But I was just trying to really use the fabric and not waste any. I didn't record making the waistband, which is trial and error, but this is me sewing everything, the waistband, the skirt to the pants, and it came out. I did mess up the drawstring, not the drawstring, the waistband, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, it don't look too bad for my first time, but yeah, you can see kind of like the error back there. But I finished. I didn't intend to feel like a ballerina, but I do. Love the way they turned out. I love the way that they fit. Um, I would have done a couple things differently, of course, but um, I mean, it was a success, so it's like I can't really be upset. I'm pretty certain that I want these to be blue. So this is kind of my flop era. I would dye these 3 different times. The first time I attempted it in the washing machine and it literally didn't do anything. So when I throw them in the bucket, this is my second time trying to do it. This is hot water, regular dye, with all the stuff that you have to throw in there. Like, I've dyed stuff before and spoiler, it still didn't work. So this is me testing like the color and everything, but I don't really remember the make of the fabric when I purchased it, and I really should have paid more attention because I would have saved me more time and effort. But I think it's mostly a poly blend, and I think that just because it's hot and heavy, um, I would not recommend this. I know you're supposed to do it in the stove top, and that's what I would end up doing, but it also still didn't turn out. So I just think it didn't really work because of color theory. They're white pants and I'm trying to dye them blue. So I probably should have filled the white first with like, I don't know, like a green or something. I didn't really pay that much attention in color theory. But yeah, I kind of just had to improvise with how they turned out. So it is like basically a month later. Oops. These are them. I didn't take any pictures of the event, at the event, or before. And they're wrinkled now because they came out of the wash. As you can see, they're almost like this like bluish gray color, which I tried to explain with like the dyeing process. That was kind of a flop. The reason they're all speckled is because the dye was super duper inconsistent. You can see like there's this big splotch. This is at the bottom of one of the legs, and there's another one. So I was like, I guess to even it out, I'll make it patchy, and it'll just have to look patchy. And you know, you can kind of conceal your mistakes by doing stuff like that and just making it work for you. So, oh, you could sell those for $1,000, and I was like, but he was like trying to break it down. Like, I think that people really need to value themselves. First off, I'm taking the compliment, like, thank you. I already showed that the waistband, this is the inside part, is pretty fried. This hemming isn't super duper straight. I didn't cut it that well. And this is not me saying like, oh, you know, my work is crap, like I didn't do a good job. I couldn't stomach the like disappointment if someone were to receive something like this and they'd be like, your stitches are not even straight, boo. Like, what's going on here? Nowadays, you can get a t-shirt for $5. So if I'm selling you something I made and it like and it falls apart and it's more than $5, like I'm saying $5 as an example, like you can go to Five Below, you can go to Walmart. Another reason I wouldn't sell them is just principles. You know, I first off, thank you to Bella Faith for inspiring this video. That felt so weird to say outside of like a sponsorship. Had I not seen her pants, because again, I had one of the Lisa Says God ones first, but the way that she made them made it look to me that that is not out of reach. And I really want to send that off, like stamp that, convey that message that nothing is out of reach. I don't condone like stealing or copying artists and things like that. However, like if you put your devices together, you can kind of make it work for yourself. So despite all the hurdles of like the Lisa pants were very expensive and Bella Faith's pants are also very expensive, they also don't come in my size. And even if they did, she lives so far, so I have to pay more money for like import and customs. She might cover it. I just don't know. That just seems so complicated. I made it work. So I just really want to encourage anybody who's like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Yes, you can. Nothing is out of reach for you. I mean, I gotta say that lightly because that might put a battery in some people's back to do something crazy. But like, no, seriously, like if there's anything that you're like aspiring to do, honestly, truly, like make it happen. The last thing that I wanted to go over was pricing. So considering, you know, the hunk of money that would have had to come out of my account if I bought the Lisa pants or the Bella Faith pants compared to what I actually paid for these pants, like to make them. I don't have the numbers right now, so I'll end up putting it on the screen. But what I did pay for, and if I forget something, I'll mention it. I got the fabric, I got the elastic. I think I ended up buying fabric dye twice. I tried to use the ones that I had, but I know for sure I bought some synthetic fabric dye. Pretty much anything else like thread, measuring, already had. So grand total, I'm gonna guess it's probably like half the price. With all that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and again, a huge thank you to Bella Faith for inspiring me to make these pants. If you like the video, like the video. If you like me, subscribe. Otherwise, kick rocks. I'm done talking. You're done watching me talk and create, and you'll see me when you see me.